Hello, Reds fans. Welcome to the YNWA Transfer News Channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for your daily latest news.
Marc Guehi transfer latest as Liverpool timeline laid out amid new Crystal Palace decision. Liverpool will be keeping a close eye on Marc Guehi's progress in the coming weeks, with a potential summer transfer still on the cards. The Crystal Palace captain's contract is set to expire in less than 12 months, which could pave the way for a deal either immediately or further down the line. While much attention has been given to Alexander Isak due to the striker's desire to depart Newcastle United, Liverpool is also on the hunt for a new central defender. If both signings come to fruition, the club's spending in the summer of 2025 could reach around the $600 million mark. However, when it comes to Guehi, there's no rush as there's no sign he'll renew his contract at Selhurst Park. He could potentially be available on a free transfer next summer. With just a month left of the summer transfer window, Palace might decide to seize this last chance opportunity to make some money, even if it means losing their skipper. The England defender will also be weighing up what's best for him, especially with the World Cup just a year away. There's plenty of uncertainty at Selhurst Park that could sway the defender's decision. One of the major stories this summer has been Palace's dispute with UEFA, European football's governing body, over their right to participate in next season's Europa League. Oliver Glasner's squad secured their chance to compete when they clinched the FA Cup in May, but UEFA has since accused them of violating multi-club ownership rules due to a minority owner's connection with French club Lyon. Consequently, they may be relegated to the Europa Conference League. However, Palace have not taken this decision lying down and have lodged an appeal with the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Their verdict is expected on Monday, August 11th. Liverpool target Guehi, along with any other players rumored to be leaving Palace, might be waiting for this new ruling before revealing their plans. The opportunity to shine in a more prestigious competition could give English players an advantage when Thomas Tuchel selects his national team squad. For the time being, Guehi remains a Palace player, preparing for the upcoming season. Interestingly, the season kicks off on Sunday, August 10th at Wembley Stadium, where Liverpool and Palace will face off in the Community Shield game. Glasner confirmed that his captain missed their weekend friendly against Crawley Town due to injury, but this turned out to be a minor issue as the German manager chose to include Guehi in another friendly on Tuesday. Palace played an unusual doubleheader against FSV Mainz 05, with each game lasting just an hour. Glasner had two squads ready for both games, and Guehi playing in the second match, which Palace lost 3-2. Liverpool transfer news: Reds beat Arsenal to promising 17-year-old striker signing. Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, Jeremy Frimpong, Milos Kerkez, maybe Alexander Isak, without a doubt, slots Liverpool are the most active major club in the current transfer window. And beyond the high-profile names for the first team, the Reds have announced the arrival of a promising young talent for their academy. The club have secured the signing of young striker Will Wright, 17, one of the standouts at Salford City. The deal was confirmed by the Merseyside outfit, and came as a surprise, as the favourites to sign the player had been Arsenal. According to The Athletic, the Gunners had already reached an agreement with Salford for around £200,000, plus performance-related bonuses. The plan was for the player to split his time between the U18 and U21 teams, with possible appearances in the UEFA Youth League. However, the London club were unable to move forward in negotiations due to a lack of agreement on personal terms with the player. On the other hand, Liverpool met all the requirements of both the player and the club, sealing the deal for the youngster, who has taken a significant step in his development. The young player was reportedly influenced by his desire to stay in the northwest of England, having grown up and played most of his career in the region, and was not keen on relocating to London. Additionally, Wright was said to be impressed by the facilities and development pathway offered by Liverpool, which included the possibility of eventually being promoted to the first team through a progressive system. What are Liverpool's plans for Wright? With a background outside the traditional system, the player is now joining a top-flight English club. The 17-year-old was the top scorer in Salford's youth and B teams, making him a highly sought-after prospect among Premier League giants. As a result, he earned a spot in the first team, making his debut in January this year in a match against Manchester City. Afterwards, the player made 2 more appearances in League Two before the end of last season, without scoring or providing assists. Now, Wright is expected to undergo medical tests in the coming days and join Liverpool's U21 squad as early as next week. The Reds' academy team is currently managed by Rob Page, former coach of the Wales national team. Crystal Palace star sets heart on major Liverpool transfer as Arsenal brace for shock striker bid. The latest Premier League transfer rumours including news from Liverpool, Arsenal, Wolves and more. Welcome to our regular morning roundup and review of the latest Premier League transfer rumours. And we'll kick today's digest off with a story which should put a smile on the face of some Liverpool fans. According to Football Insider, Crystal Palace centre-back Marc Guehi, who has drawn significant interest from a number of sides ahead of his likely departure from Selhurst Park, has his heart set on a move to Anfield and is prepared to snub Tottenham Hotspur should they make a move. Guehi is even said to be willing to wait until next summer, when he would be a free agent, to join Liverpool rather than moving to a different team now, and will prioritize any opportunity to join Arne Slot's side over Spurs or indeed Newcastle United, who are also said to be interested after narrowly failing to sign him last summer. Liverpool's bid for Guehi has seemingly gone a little quiet over the last couple of weeks, but this report asserts that they still have concrete interest. Why does interest always have to be concrete these days, in the England international, while Spurs have been looking at him again? Over to Sky Sports Germany reporter Florian Plettenberg now, who reports that Arsenal may have to brace for some unexpected bids for Belgian utility forward Leandro Trossard, and that a move in this window is possible. Apparently Borussia Dortmund are monitoring his situation, while he also has 2 concrete offers. Other hard substances are available, people from unnamed Premier League clubs. There's no mention of a fee or of the player's attitude towards the possibility of an exit. This may all, of course, be less surprising to those who subscribe to The Athletic, who suggested before Plettenberg did that Trossard could leave if Arsenal can't tie him down to a new contract, which has been offered but not accepted. His current deal ends in 2027. A word for Wolverhampton Wanderers fans from Give Me Sport to round things off today. They report that Vitor Pereira's side are plotting to hijack Benfica's bid for rising Austrian star Franjo Ivanovic. The 21-year-old passed the 20-goal mark for Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium last season and had seemed set to head to Portugal after attracting plenty of attention. But with Benfica hesitating over the asking price, Wolves could step in and make use of their financial clout. Read more. Every leaked news shirt for 2025-26 Premier League season. Union are said to want €25 million, £21.6 million, for the Ivanovic, and while he's said to be leaning towards a move to Lisbon, he may not be given a choice if Wolves pay his price tag in full and Benfica don't, and it's suggested that a hefty contract from Wolves could make the youngster forget about a move to Portugal altogether. Liverpool in pole position to sign Crystal Palace defender Marc Guehi. Liverpool have signed Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike this summer, whereas Luis Diaz's departure could see them pursue a transfer for Alexander Isak after he handed in a transfer request to Newcastle United recently as well. Jeremy Frimpong and Milos Kerkez have also joined as far as defensive reinforcements go, but no central defender has been purchased by the club just yet, although that could soon change. Caught Offside has reported that Liverpool are in pole position to sign Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace. The 25-year-old's asking price is close to £45 million as he enters the last year of his contract, and he is open to moving to Anfield. Bayer Leverkusen signed Jaro Kwanzaa from the Reds at the start of the month, so there is a serious need for a centre-back with Ibrahima Konate's contract also expiring next year and Virgil van Dijk crossing the 30-year-old barrier. Guehi signing a good step forward. Should they sign Alexander Isak and struggle to sell Darwin Núñez, Liverpool might have their hands tied for the summer, and Marc Guehi's transfer might require a bit of a stretch, although one they will feel they are required to make. While the Crystal Palace defender would undoubtedly be a great signing, especially at the price his employers are quoting, Liverpool cannot simply settle for him and must continue to look for another centre-back in the winter or latest by next summer. Guehi is exceptional from a defensive standpoint but does not offer as much as Virgil van Dijk or several other modern-day defenders do with the ball, and that might be a drawback considering teams often play out from the back. In the shorter run, it remains to be seen when the Premier League champions take the necessary steps to sign Guehi, whereas another central defender's signing could hinge on whether or not Ibrahima Konate renews his contract at Anfield. Liverpool €1.24 billion spend provides transfer lesson for non-elite clubs. Liverpool might be spending now, but over the last 10 years, they spent not much more than Everton. So there. A long mail about how Liverpool are brilliant and that. And so the narrative spins on without fact or reason. The big clubs in the Premier League have it all sewn up. It's an unfair game. No one else can break in. Wah wah wah, cries the Everton fan while his new £800 million stadium is being built on the banks of the Mersey. But is it true? Can clubs ascend in the new order without state backing, and is there an unbreakable glass ceiling in place keeping the little guy down? Anyone remember the cartoon with Ivor Lott and Tony Broke, and their SOs Millionaire and Penniless? Yes, my childhood was spent reading comics and playing out my road for 10 hours a day. They called that deprivation, kids. It was heaven. Anyway, I digress. Is that what we have created in the Premier League? Is Liverpool as a microcosm like a bad Buster comic strip where Everton have never stood a chance while their posh uppity neighbours with their TV clapping fans are destined to rule the roost forever? It feels nice, doesn't it? To tell yourself that story if you're an Everton fan. You never stood a chance, the game is rigged, the casino always wins, but is it true? Looking at the last 10 years from 2015 to 24, what's happened to these two hallowed clubs? Cast your mind back to 2015, the year Jurgen came to Liverpool. FSG had purchased the club in 2010 for what looks like a now paltry £300 following the disastrous ownership of Gillett and Hicks, which nearly brought the club to ruin. Liverpool finished the 2014-15 season in 6th place following a summer of terrible spending, and in Klopp's first season they finished 8th. Everton finished 11th both seasons in question. Since that time, according to CIS Football Observatory, from 2015 to 24, Liverpool spent €24 billion on players, 10th in Europe, miles behind Chelsea, United and City, but also Arsenal and Spurs. That's not even net spend Liverpool beaters. That table sees Liverpool fall to 20th in Europe over the same decade. This was of course the decade Liverpool climbed from being the 6th place team in England to currently being top of the pile, and in a financial position to go out and spend £400 plus this summer without a sugar daddy owner. But that's just what rich clubs do, you cry. Poor Tony Broke Everton could never compete with that. But look on the same table for top spenders in Europe sit plucky little Everton in 17th place with €1.03 billion spent. Yes, really. Any fan of football in this decade can name off their heads the superstars Liverpool bought and developed with this money. Sulla, Maine, VVD, Alisson, the list goes on. Some failures, but overall a list of Premier League champions, greats and legends identified through data analysis and intelligent scouting. Can you name a single success from Everton in this time period for just over £200 less spent? I was struggling and had to read the list of their top purchases. Gylfi Sigurdsson leads a list of Premier League journeymen. But you say Liverpool signed Klopp, that was their stroke of luck, although plenty of opposition fans have tried to characterize the above 9 years of ascendancy while understanding their rivals as some sort of failure. But we forget Everton had Ancelotti as their manager in the middle of this period also. Listen, I get it. Several clubs in the top 6 currently have gotten there primarily by virtue of their ownership, circumventing the usual rules of the hierarchy with enormous spending, but as we see with Newcastle now, PSR actually have teeth, and they can bite these clubs, so this will level the playing field going forwards. I didn't write this solely to say how great Liverpool have been the last decade, even though any objective observation confirms this, but just to demonstrate that there is a path to the top of the game for clubs who get their act together, and who with proper owners and a clever coherent strategy can progress year on year. Luis Diaz replacement. Liverpool have eyes on speedster to replace a going star. Liverpool are preparing for life without Luis Diaz, who is set to join Bayern Munich this summer. The Colombian international winger has been a crucial member of the Liverpool team for the past few seasons, but the Reds are ready to accept his desire of a move away from Anfield to start a new chapter in his career. Having already signed attacking players like Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz this summer, the Reds are looking for more attacking additions, and Newcastle United player Alexander Isak is firmly on their radar. Along with a new striker, they are likely to step into the market for a new winger to replace Diaz this summer. Liverpool identify Luis Diaz replacement. Liverpool appear ready to shake up the transfer market yet again as they set their sights on Lyon winger Malik Fofana, a rising Belgian talent who has attracted attention from several Premier League clubs. According to a report from Fischages, the Reds are now exploring a potential move for the 20-year-old as part of their ongoing search for a replacement for Diaz. Fofana, who has been on the radar of both Nottingham Forest and Everton, is considered one of the most exciting attacking prospects in League One. Forest were reportedly the first to make serious inroads, even going as far as having a bid accepted by Lyon earlier in the window. However, the deal collapsed due to a breakdown in personal terms. Everton subsequently stepped in and opened what were described as advanced negotiations with both the player and his current club. Despite this progress, Liverpool may now be about to hijack the entire operation. With Champions League football on offer at Anfield and a vacancy in their forward line following Diaz's departure to Bayern Munich, the opportunity to bring Fofana into a higher-profile project could prove decisive. It is widely believed that the player prefers a move to a club competing at the top of European football, which could give Liverpool a significant edge in the race. Lyon, aware of the growing interest, have slapped a £35 million price tag on Fofana's head. While that figure may be a sticking point for clubs like Forest and Everton, Liverpool are financially equipped to meet the valuation with ease. As things stand, Liverpool are watching closely and could make their move in the coming days. With negotiations ongoing elsewhere, the Reds may look to swoop in and finalize a deal before their rivals regroup. Thanks for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.